become the monster.
There's no confirmation that
Yes, it did.
All you said it disappeared in black fire.
Oh, it had to have went inside you.
It might be associated with me, but
well, still keep that thing away from me.
Disappear.
That's the point. Just keep it away. I'm going to bed now. It's like you tell me, you see it staring on my bed at me.
It's a blob. It's a blob at this moment.
I go to bed.
Okay. You go to bed. You have anything you need to say?
I just go to bed at this point.
You guys spend some hit dice to regain health.
24.
If you have yours is a D8. You can roll 4 if you want to spend them all. Yours is a D6. You can go up to 4 if you want.
A 1. I'm definitely rolling another one. An 8. I'm gonna roll my third one.
So you guys just spend all your hit dice. You gotta hit full. You're gonna get a full.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just spend them and say you're back to your 40. I think it's 42.
Yes.
42. So you guys went back to full HP. And when you wake up, Trace, there's a beautiful white jackalope staring at you.
Holy shiz. How did it become white? I say.
I thought it was always white. Was it brown?
It was a black.
I didn't know. Okay, it was jet black. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a jet black. It's a jet black jackalope staring at
me.
Eating grass. I don't know.
Just eating hay.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna prod you with its antlers a bit.
I'm going.
We'll try to prod you with his nose, but it might get a little too close with the antlers.
I grab the by the antler.
There's the angle there.
Yeah. I walk into your room and plop it onto you.
Is that how you wake him?
Yeah.
That's how I wake up.
I plop it onto you, just drop.
I believe this belongs to you.
Yeah, practically. That's how I was. This is yours. And yeah. Who was there?
Maybe it's shutting up throwing them.
Maybe it shouldn't even be here. Maybe the random tattoo on your back shouldn't be there. Naturally.
Maybe it was destiny that it's on there.
So I guess you guys are spending a whole day. You're probably back at the tavern. You check up on the shopkeeper.
Yeah.
A good couple days pass. You get your item back.
So
my pie.
Like 200 gold pieces is what the guy wanted.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna actually go over to the magic guy.
I'm gonna test the
On what?
I'm gonna go into the forest a bit and try to like a tree.
Knock back a tree.
That couldn't possibly go bad, yeah.
My nature spirit frowns upon you.
You're vilified by nature spirit.
Yes.
It seems to be true. There's an extra D6.
The tree
force
knocks
damage
you
done
back.
And can push back. It is at reach, so you can attack something at 10 feet away, but it can push it an extra 5 feet away from you.
The tree knocks him back.
Yeah, you make...
Is it on top of the D4 of slashing?
Yes. You made him mad. He says, my babies, why do you touch my babies?
Why you touch my babies?
No, he's not mad, but...
He does stare in the
did it right. They did it right.
You do see him in the distance staring at you, horrified.
So it is on top of like 1d6 force?
Yeah, so you would hit and you do 1d4 slashing, 1d6 force damage.
I asked
and the pushback of pushing something 5 feet away from you on top of the distance of 10 feet. that it can hit from.
I guess I would ask the
Mm-hmm.
magical guy, and say, hey, can you enchant this snake stick? And I plop it on the ground and turn it into a snake, and then make it a stick again.
Ah, no, I don't think I can.
Don't want to mess with my snake.
It's an animal.
Oh, it's not an animal. Change it back to a stick. Stick.
It's an animal. You trap animals. You'd say, no, that's just something that you can't do.
Snake.
Yeah.
It's a stick now.
It's
All
a
right.
snake now. It's a stick now.
On another note, which I may have skipped a little too far, the day after you took care of the things, the family of the boy who was attacked will go to you two and hand you 50 gold pieces.
Yay!
So you could split it in whatever way. Is it
Oh,
25
yeah.
and 25?
25, 25.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
They would hand you that, thanking you for taking care of such matters. You would have heard that the chieftain is okay with the whatever happened with the scroll, even though he knows something was going on and it probably wasn't a spider. Mainly because you got this thing, because he's like, man, the poison of the spider could have poisoned everyone else at one point. It got too bad. The guard is still
watching.
in the distance, even while you're in the woods. You wouldn't have liked being alone, because he probably knows he can't take you if you transform, but you would watch that and be like, great. He's stronger now. Rain's over there talking to just random boys.
Wait, should we roll for the weather?
Go ahead.
Let's
Oh
do this.
no.
Yay, it's a 3. Poor rolling then.
Okay, well, I guess while you're out in the woods and you're at the shop and she's completely separate, the wind's picking up. And then you hear the sound similar like a train. There's
Oh,
a
no!
tornado about to hit.
Nicholas, this is why we don't roll the die. we just need a 20 die roller.
I love the weather. I love the affliction of weather.
You're seeing a lot of people gathering to either the longhouse. Some are actually deciding to go into the well. Good, you cleared it out. Because what's the deal? Rain's gonna go down to the
How many slices of
longhouse.
pie would I have? I ate one.
So you have 7.
So Rain's in the house.
What are you doing because of the tornado? What are you doing because of the tornado?
I'm going to go into the longhouse as well.
You're extremely far away.
Yeah, you're in the
I know.
woods.
I don't know where the tornado's coming from. Can I use perception to see where it might be coming?
It's one in the middle of the
19.
It's kind of more towards, I guess it wouldn't affect you, it's more towards where the river was when we passed by.
The underground river?
The old road, the thing that you traveled by, yeah.
Since I'm on the dock,
Mhm.
like right over here, right where the magic man is, I will head along to the actually, I will go to the shaman's house and see if I can help him get out of the building and go into a safer place.
Okay, I will resolve that shortly. So you're running, right?
Yeah. Going.
Go sprint, slip.
Roll to see if the wind knocks you down.
17.
17. You guys make it into town. It's a longhouse. The tornado ravages the tornado village, knocking down some of the huts and the tents. Longhouse stands firm. The shaman's house being a little stronger, holds firm, tells okay. as you walked in, saying, "We need to get out." Well, what do you do when you walk into the shaman's house?
Tornado, I say that.
Shelter.
Yeah, shelter.
And the lady's there at the bed. It's too late. She's passed.
We need to get you out of here.
She says it. Almost hopeless. The tornado goes by. You hear it, the shuddering of the building. And
Get under something. I'm going underneath the bed.
yeah. She would be almost crouched up to the corner near it, not under it.
Dang.
And, the tornado will pass. They say there's a few injured. And they'll be taken to the shaman's place, and she's sighs and says, "I never really wanted to take over my grandmother's role. And the only woman knows how." And she would set things out. There would be a few guards that would take the body of the shaman and prepare funeral rites for it. And as the bed that was her funeral bed turns into a hospital bed to take care of people, as she uses poultices and other kind of herbal things to help with splinter damage. And you guys at the longhouse is pretty safe. People look out and say it's going to take some effort to rebuild some of those houses. But you can, as long as
All because of that one roll.
Yeah.
Dang.
Like, how are we going to rebuild it before the festival?
I walk out. What does the heart do again?
3 different spells. I forget what they were. Tree stride lets you go through trees and walk through trees. Grasping vines, you can stick
And I
with
chose
plants.
one, right?
You would have chose that at the beginning of the day, yeah.
And I did tree stride, right?
You did tree stride a couple days ago. This is now like 2-3 days
So I
later.
get to choose.
Yeah. Grasping vines, you want to use like grasping vines to rebuild buildings? I don't know.
What's the other ones?
Speak with plants.
Then, yeah, grasping vines. I use the heart, use grasping vines to gather wood from the woods, just make a conveyor belt of wood, gather up.
If you want, I'll even let you build a hut using the vines. If you want.
I go ahead before I actually build the hut. I pray to the guy and say, please grant us some wood on that, some plentiful wood. Because if a tree falls,
If wood
like
falls
I
from the
said-
sky from the distant tornado.
Well, that actually might be the wood that's been passed down and rebuilt.
Yeah.
Naturally got broken through the storm. Yeah.
I pray for plentiful. As I'll make a hut with the vines and also have some vines to make a.
You have subverted that tornado in the heart of Meats, and everyone cheers.
I will go ahead and.
I wonder how the humans are doing right now. That had to have been close enough. That came from where the humans were. The humans are all dead. The orc prince escaped and killed everyone.
That was his power.
So I didn't have to challenge a shaman after all.
I'll go ahead and use like alter self to allow myself to be like stronger to be able to help like the rebuild.
The guard's gonna look at you like
Oh, he told everyone?
connecting. No, he hasn't said
Oh.
anything. He's connecting that, and he's extra on guard. You would see the connections between the alter self and the transformation, as in this isn't it, but this is like an aspect of it, not the whole thing.
I'm over here doing miracles and he's doing...
He's rebuilding, but
Paying extra close attention to what I do.
She's like.
Okay. So there's the building process there. Very thankful. They're going to say it's the night of the festival, and they're thankful that they didn't have to postpone it because they're rebuilding. And the chief is going to go to you, say, do you want to play the role of Yeats?
I would be honored.
So you can have the ceremonial armor we have. You can even take it along with you, because we can see that you're clearly highly chosen of him. All you got to do is dance around the fire. That's it.
Dance around the fire.
At Q.
At you. Alright. So, yeah.
Okay.
I will dance around the fire.
He'll go and show you the armor that they have. They'll take it near his house.
I'll change.
And it's an armor made out of planks of wood. Shoulder guards.
Man, I'm stiff.
Stuff like this.
It's gonna be hard to dance.
And there's room in bending like this way, but I can't really do that.
I thought you.
So in game terms, it is all the same as your armor now. You'll have disadvantage on stealth, but it will also include a shield that you can use to give you an extra +1 armor class when using the shield. It's going to be a large wooden chunk. Now all these Gideon are like stuff that weren't even crafted. This is how they found it and bound it to people. Very fitting with Yeats's Lord of Forest's gimmick.
So yeah.
I guess I guess I will be like in a more secluded part of like the area, watching it from like a distance, with like the jackalope and just.
Why the heck aren't you joining the party, man? Demon man.
Right before the longhouse, you have a fire, and everyone's kind of sitting around it. Some are standing. You're off in the distance.
Shit, what was the cue? You never told me the cue.
The Q is the letter Q.
Oh no.
The chief is going to be there, and out will come. Let me see if I can find him.
A giant.
He would stand. He would say, "This is how we were told from the spirits of old, how the world was formed from long ago, and how we learned this from the spirits who liberated us many centuries ago." And it's not verbal. There's a lot of people just in like outfits and stuff, and you're standing back waiting for your cue. First comes out a person in like a dragon outfit, and a silver dragon outfit, and there's another multi-headed one, which is like Tiamat, and he goes and breaks off all the heads off Tiamat's body and whatever, and then they leave. And
wait a second.
Mm-hmm. What?
Connection.
Connection.
Mm-hmm. To our old D&Ds.
So they get all broken up and whatnot, and they leave, and then out is going to be your cue. You're standing by with certain people who have outfits. You're going to be the tree. There's one that has the seaweed. There's one that's actually dressed in black and white like a killer whale. There's one that is like a woolly elephant. There's one that is a bear pelt. There's another one in feathers, and there's another one with a leather, kind of a leather skin mantle on their back. And there's one that has kind of a fish placed upon their head. And you guys are going to go out and dance around the fire.
I dance around the fire, but while I'm doing it, I will cast a spell, which would be, I believe it's not
Druidcraft?
Yeah, I would like to just grow plants around.
You're all cheering, and how these spirits went around and that formed after the the destruction of Tiamat. And there's going to be someone that's going to come and walk out with a big metal cauldron, place it into the middle of the fire. And they're going to pop behind the cauldron, and the king's going to come out and unroll the black scroll, pull it out, and then say, and then there was disorder, and from the sky came it. And then out you're going to see multiple different limbs, like crab legs, crab claws, very similar to what you saw when you saw into the mind of the rabbit earlier. Will dance up, and then the spirits will be cued to flee. And you would go back and speak of things.
Did the jackalope do anything as it was watching this go down?
It's just chewing on grass. Now, if Trace was looking at its mind, maybe there'd be something else.
Oh dear.
Grandpa! No.
Screams.
Then they actually go and pour out the cauldron, and it puts out the fire, and there's steam. So you go under the scroll.
After this, I'm going to ask, how many times a year do you do this?
Like once a year.
Mm.
I know, it's always convenient you're near the festival, but it's exposition in a
Yeah.
fun way. So they all cheer and they eat. They have, I don't know, a whole bear that they cooked. Instead of, well, I'm thinking what's cooler than a pig is like you're cooking a whole bear like you would cook a pig on a skewer.
Yeah.
But, and it's extremely good food and good times.
This place is a lot better than Human's place. A lot more friendly, a lot more talkative, and
No prisoners.
family-like. Yeah, no prisoners.
Reed's gonna go there and say, we didn't even know that. We didn't know what happened underground and what happened in secret places. You guys drew it out.
The spider?
No, talking about at Dry Dock. They didn't know about the gambling and the.
Oh, I was talking about the human place, like that had the orc tied up.
Oh,
Yeah.
like, well, it's an outpost. I see what you mean.
Yeah. The outpost. I asked you.
Yeah.
So the vision that I saw included those crab legs and all that over, and I'm just saying, no, keep that thing away from me. Keep that away from anyone that you can. I don't want them to have the visions that I saw. Just keep it away.
It's just gonna stare you right in the eye. It's just a.
Look at you on the shoulder. Bump its foot. As it's chewing
Did
grass.
you know thumping the foot actually means threatening, like upset?
Cock its head at you like.
You know what I'm saying, I practically do that.
The cock its head back the other way.
Just keep it away.
You're gonna see.
I don't care if you tie it to your back or something.
I don't see what's wrong with it.
Demon. Well, I actually prayed for it. Prayed for them.
Right.
Wow. He really just doing that to me. And I walk away and what else could we do in this town? We've done the well.
Maybe we should finally get back to what we were first doing and head to the Magic Academy.
I was thinking helping out to get the Prince guy out, but first, like, we would have to travel all the way back there, I would have to become the crow guy again or whatever, and walk around because that's what they know about us. Then you need to explain and show them the eye instead. That's what I want to do.
Are you talking this between each
Yes.
other, or is this out of character? In character?
Yes.
Okay. Reed is gonna say, not Reed, Rainey is gonna actually say, says, what happens if they learn that you guys did all that stuff in Drydock? They just,
It's best not to trouble ourselves. Maybe a later
I'll
date.
assume word finally got out first.
I say, how would they know it would be me?
You just pulled it for him. I'm assuming you talked about, no, you wanted to talk about what happened.
No.
But you knew, he knew that, like
There's something.
he's
yeah.
not you. Touching
Can I transform him into stuff, or is it just me?
Just you, because it's a net part of being a druid.
Alright.
Unless you have, well, he has. Did you get polymorph finally? Yeah, you did.
I did get polymorph?
You had to No.
No, I
You
didn't.
transformed into a crow.
Yeah.
Or you used a scroll.
Scroll. Now, polymorph would definitely be something I would use.
Yeah.
So, I sadly sigh. I talked to the chieftain. We're gonna have to go, sadly. I know it's such a surprising occasion.
From a distance, you hear silently from that one bird. That's really
Yeah.
stalking.
Yeah. Sadly, we're gonna have to go. I was hoping to help out, get Prince free, but I just can't. But I leave this eye with the guy. I explained what the magic man said, how
Can you see? They can see him.
yes, through it, so I would keep it covered, but you really have to prove it to the humans somehow. This is what you would have to show them. But I doubt you
Okay.
can. I tell them that.
Are you in the middle of this? Are you anywhere near?
I don't
Okay,
know.
I guess I'm just like speaking alone to the rabbit, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Jekyll.
You go and pull you aside and say, why did you take the scroll? He said that spider was too big to fit in the hole that leads to the crypt under.
Rabbit stumbled in there and grabbed it out. I'm sorry.
So you returned it, but it is a large offense.
Dude, you
to
want
be
some
on that
money?
land.
I'd say.
You'd be very offended at money as an offer.
I say, is there any way to repay you then? I'm sorry that my friend Rabbit took the scroll.
No one knows why.
So,
I kind of
we
pipe
didn't,
up.
I actually just say, before he pops up, we didn't know that lead under your house. We were exploring underneath the well, and
Trying to find a
yeah,
friend, essentially.
we were trying to find out where the
Are you
spider-
there for him to hear that? Okay, the spider. Say, but what made this interesting to you?
And I just pipe up.
yeah, you can see. Yeah.
And I just like throw over the shoulder and show like a snippet of like the tattoo and stuff.
Oh, look at that. Says, we're looking for more of these. You point towards the mountains. It says there's a lost dwarven city in the mountains where we found this scroll. Most likely there's more. problem is that that's where the lizard folk comes from.
Is that also where the temple is?
So that is where adventurers from all around have been looking for the obsidian citadel. So that's a old volcanic caldera. It's a dome-like structure in which the dwarves made a city. So if you want to find more of these and maybe a little bit more about that part,
Is it along the way to the magic?
you asking him or you asking about me?
Yeah.
You know you have to pass the mountains eventually.
So,
It's
yeah.
either this way or an else way.
I say we go through the mountains, yeah.
Yeah. We'll head that direction, I tell him, and we made a promise to her I point towards her that we will take her to what's the magic place called?
Eldrimori.
Explain that to him.
You would see up until this point, the elder, the chieftain, would have been happy, positive, even confronting you about something that he could have you like killed for
Yeah.
walking on his ground. He's pretty fine with. He hears that name and he shudders in pain.
Did I say something? Are you okay?
He put his hand on your shoulder. Say, you're not from around here, are you?
No, I say. We came all the way from Docktown, if you ever heard of it.
Well, it's Dry Dock, but
Dry Dock, yeah.
he says he ain't from around here. He says, you're not a full orc, are you?
I shake my
He
head
says, did
sadly.
you grow up with a lot of orcs?
I shake my head
He's
sadly.
like walking you away from everybody.
Yeah.
And say, us orcs and elves don't get along.
Oh, great.
He says, you reveal the burn mark
Mhm.
on him, and it's different than
Was it one of the symbols that Nicholas saw?
the top part that you would see would be similar to the tree, but the bottom part is different. So it might be related, like in language or culture, to those symbols, but it's a burn mark. He'd show you this. It says, if it wasn't for the spirits freeing us from slavery, from the elves, he says, none of us orcs would be here.
I shake my head in understanding. I'm like, yeah. But we have to take her there. We made a promise.
Says you're a man of your word. He says,
I also like take off the armor and give it to him while I'm there.
He says you don't have to do that. You can take it.
But you've been having this for so many years. I don't understand why.
I'll say thanks for respecting our ceremony, and he'll put the armor back. We'll have someone else handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Says I'm just telling you, I don't know if you'll be safe if you walk into that city.
I say, yeah, I understand. Now that I think of it, they would probably be able to pass through and see my transforming that I can do. No, he wouldn't know that. I told him how I can transform if I want to, because, yeah.
He says they are very advanced in magic. They are almost beyond magic.
Oh.
He says, I don't think you're going to like what you see when you walk into Eldrimorny. In the city of Vernet Garn. As one of Yeats, of the Lord of Forest, I think you'll find what they've done very perverse.
Oh. Do they mock him?
So they mock nature itself,
Oh.
seeking to control and manipulate everything from ladybug to grand trees.
Tree people. Ooh. I nod, say, I thank him for warning me about this. This will come in handy. And yeah.
You know, go and walk back over to you and say, says, I hope you can find a way to go and fight your own nature.
So we understand, yeah.
So some of these people don't believe in the parasite. He says, but says we have belief that there's more people like you out there. Dangerous. We believe that even the lizard folk has someone like you. If you're going up there, I must warn you that some of my guards have been talking about someone that just goes by the name the Leech.
The Leech.
You look at your jackalope, pat on his head, says, I hope you can surpass him.
I just nod in understanding.
And he would walk away. It's because there's a Super Nintendo Direct. And I think safe to say that you're not in that big of a rush to leave the place. You'll probably stay to regain everything you need. But I think that's what I need to leave this adventure off at.
Understandable.
Or you will head towards whatever destination. You don't have to go there.
Honestly, I forgot to write down the eyeball, but oh well.
Yeah, you
Not mine now.
gotta go for them to try to prove his innocence.
Yeah.
I still have a witch eye myself.
You have a witch's eye?
Yeah, remember? I still have a witch's eye.
No.